All right, there we are. And welcome back to session four, which is discover time-saving techniques to streamline your workflow. So having a brand kit is great, and I showed you how to access them. And we now know that you can have one brand kit with one account, and I think you can upgrade to a pro or like a Teams membership if you want multiple spaces. But I think you can also create different folders in your CapCut space, and you could just keep your assets for that one in there. And that's actually one thing. That's what I would do. That's exactly what I would do. Let me see. Let me
Yeah,
show
I
you
really
that.
got to clean mine up, man. I got everything on one stick.
So when you go into library and you create a folder, just create Amazon folder, and then you can have some of your assets and colors and everything right in there
Okay.
and do that. So some of the time saving techniques I thought about because I'm always thinking about efficiency because I'm always trying to get quicker. I always feel like I'm so slow with everything, and I want shortcuts. And sometimes it's hard to take the time to find out what they are. So here, if I believe you should all be looking at, yes, Google Doc, the session four. So learning editing shortcuts to speed up your workflow, adjusting trim in the add file screen. So this is a big one that I just found recently that I want to show you. Get rid of my face, and here we go. Unplug, replug, and there we are. Okay, so when you are, go back to edit here. When you start a new project, you have this window. Now I have a few items that I want to bring in. I already put these in a folder on my phone.
I want to be you, organized.
It's not always the case. Sometimes I have to play catch up. And I have spent days and hours organizing my Google Docs or my Google Drive and my Apple using ChatGPT. ChatGPT has helped me create the necessary folders for my business, and it helps me separate things and where to put them. And I recommend it. So in this case, this is where most of us, we go in, we tap on the little dot there, say in the top center, and it gives us a number one. Then we click add, and it puts it on our timeline in the editing project within CapCut. I found this out. So what you can do now, I filmed this. I don't know what my order is and what I would do, but if you tap not in that upper right-hand corner of the picture, I'm going to use that same picture. I'm going to tap in the middle, and it brings it up. Then I can see the bottom left, it says trim. So instead of taking all of these long videos, because some of them are a minute, a couple minutes, and putting those on my timeline, now I have to scroll all the way to the end. Here, I can trim my video, just put the part that I'm using on the timeline, be more efficient. I have less to scroll in the editing space. So here, I can go through and maybe find. All right, so where they take out that exchanger right there. I'm going to come in there, and then I'm going to come in the other side. And he puts it down, kind of backs away, and I get a good view. So there's 11 seconds right there. I'm going to hit the check mark. And you can see in the lower left of that video that I was just in, there's a little scissors icon. So that means it's trimmed, just how I need it. Now, if I unclick it, it's still trimmed. So if I didn't want it to be my first one, so that one's my first one, and then that one's my second one. And again, once you're in it, you can also change the order then, but if you can do it right now and get it set up and all your clips are fairly close to where they are, you have much less space to scroll and to deal with. So ideally what you would do is go in and I would tap here. And I think this is kind of a long one. This is one of my trainings that I did. Kind of being playful with the camera. Did a walkthrough and I go here. So boom. So maybe I want to end it right there. That's 53 seconds. So in that case, I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm going to do a time lapse. I'm going to show the name of the company. I'm going to walk in the door. I'm going to do speed it up until the point where I wave to the guy behind the counter. And then I'm going to go through again where I walk through the hallway. So that one's trimmed. And then maybe I'm going to pick this one. Maybe I can find a highlight here. So just by dragging that left bar, it's moving through the video for me so I can actually see what's happening. So I can see here they're actually putting back that panel. So I probably want to use that towards the end, but I know better what it is. So I'll do like 4 seconds and tap that one. So that one's good. So I'm just going to use those three right there. And so they all have scissor icons. Those are the ones I'm using. Down the bottom, I can see what they are. And that's the order that they're going to be in. And I actually want to have, I want to have that one first, that one second, and that one third because he's putting the cabinet back together. I'm going to hit add. So now instead of having, it's still 53 seconds. So there's my buddy Ray. And I'll do a time lapse through here. And I'm actually doing this one for a customer. This group right here is going to be on social media. I told them that I would do a video for them for Vernon Poolman, which is a large pool company here in Connecticut. So I'm going to, kind of trim all that down and add some music to it and make a piece of content. So that is how you can trim in the add-on screen when you're first adding on, which is a huge help. I just found that out actually a couple days ago, which is great.
I wasn't aware of it, so I just
Yeah.
listened.
Another feature while I'm here too is that you can now, they have AI Ultra HD. So I still have it on 1080p right here, but it's AI Ultra HD. So I guess it's still gonna give you the cleanest, clearest picture that it can using AI. So if I just back out of here, another shortcut, and I haven't used many of these, but is a template. And I think they're actually right there. So here's our template, and I just want to show you basic things. So,
Middle finger to my haters, are you bitch jealous?
so maybe here's a look that I want to use. I'm going to hit use template, and down the bottom here, they give you different scenes, and it tells you how long each one is. So the first one is 1.1 seconds. So it looks like I'm going to pick I'm going to pick recent. And I know I got plenty of pictures of myself in here. Funny, I feel so vain sometimes because I open my phone, I'm like, I have so many pictures of myself. And I'm just going to do photos because I don't have to worry about editing or trimming or anything like that. So I'm going to do that one. So that puts it in the first place, and then it goes to the second clip. I want to pick that, and then that, and it's filling them in the bottom as I go. See what else I can find. All right, there's another one. And I can scroll back and forth down here. So it looks like in this case, it's when I pick that first one, it's also making it the last one. So I'm not quite sure what the template's going to do, but we'll see. I'm going to add that one right in the middle. So I have all those in there, and I hit next.
That's a bad bitch. Middle finger to my haters, are you bitch jealous? Fuck yeah. Been knew I was that bitch. I didn't need a man to tell them.
So that's pretty cool. I like it. Boom, I just made a video. Maybe I'll post it. I kind of like it. But I know on YouTube, I believe, and Dean, you may know more about this. If you're listening, I know you're on the phone. If you're monetized and you use AI or you use like a generated sort of video, I guess you can get dinged or penalized for that, from what I heard.
I think, to be honest with you, I don't use AI, but I know now
Right.
when you're uploading, there's a little part that you have to tick off, and you can identify that you're using AI, and I don't think you'll be penalized for it because you're letting the visitors know that it's kind of altered or so forth. But there is a little
Right.
place that you can notify or let YouTube know that it is AI generated of some sort.
Right. What I've done is because I've tested using AI and doing certain things like this using templates, and I
Right.
just didn't click the monetize. I just kept it off,
Okay.
just in case.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Now,
Right. Right.
of course, since I think September, I think I've made $4 since then, so I'm not too worried. But I don't want to lose it. And I don't want to bring my channel status down at all because that kind of stuff happens. So
Of course, I agree.
in this case, I hit export, and then I see I have the option here for 1080p. I utilize the Smart HDR for mine, and it actually tells me I'm using about 12.7 megabytes, which isn't much for a usual video for me. But at the bottom, it says save to device with CapCut watermark, or save and share to TikTok without it. So if you're going to share it with TikTok, we're going to take the watermark off. And then of course you could put it in there and keep it uh in your what do you call it? The not the templates, your holding bin, whatever that is. And then down the very bottom left there, it says post on CapCut to remove the watermark, which I have, and then I can boost your video to TikTok, which is of course, paying to have it promoted. Which by doing that, you're not really attracting your true audience, but I've tested it, and you can get a ton of views, you can get more people engaging if you pay for it. But I haven't you can do that on that one video, and then your next one you don't, and you still back down to your, 200 views. So it's kind of disappointing. So you kind of shot yourself in the foot, and it hurts. So I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to post it there. I'm going to hit that. And of course, I have 3 accounts on TikTok, so I don't know which one it went to.
Middle finger to
I
my
have it, so I
haters.
see
You
the
bitch
CapCut part is
jealous.
gone.
He knew I was that bitch. I didn't need a man to
I don't
tell
have to add my sound. I'll do next, do a preview. So it's not full
Middle
screen.
finger to my haters. All you bitch.
That's okay. I'm just going to add it to my drafts. Go back to CapCut. Hit the home button. So that's templates. So pretty cool. I just made a pretty quick video. I used some photos. You can use some videos too and trim them. I think just to the right, that right size. I think when it's like a 1.1 second clip, you get to pick like what 1.1 seconds you want out of it, I believe. So that is the templates. Now, organizing your products within the folders is a big one, and we kind of went over that in the last one too. But when you are in your space here, let me just, while I'm right here, I think it's going to do the same thing. Yeah. And I don't go into this a whole lot. If I go into, I'm in the top here, local. I click all. And these are all my different projects. If I go into my Mindstorm media, I have all these in here. I can either view it that way or that way. And I'm actually looking to add the folder. Create.
Does every project that
Hmm.
you have in CapCut, does it get uploaded to the cloud, to the space?
You can set it to automatically do it on everyone, or you can pick and choose which ones you want. And I do the pick and choose only because there's times when I'll be working on a project and I'll get out of it and it'll be trying to upload to the cloud. And it seems like it takes a long time. Like my app is still running in the background, but it takes a long time and it seems to really log to make my phone lag. And I'm sure it's using a lot of space and data and all that. So I only do it when I need to. I'm actually trying to find where to add a folder. Might be there. So again, if I go into my Mindstorm media space, you have these up here, you have brand kit, brand template, and share files. Ah, there we go. That took a bit. So if you go into your space, see here I have client videos, some other things, and then these are all my projects down below. There's a little plus button in the lower right. If I tap on that, I can create a new folder. I can upload media or upload a project. So if I tap that new folder, I can do Amazon folder. Confirm, and there we go. So now I have everything available in here. And then when I'm actually in my project, I can access what's in my Amazon folder, whether I'm doing an overlay or I'm adding something and I have access to the video files or sound files or anything, then you can get into that folder. So that is how you can add folders to help keep things organized.
That I really need to do that.
It's worth taking the time to go through it because it's only going to get worse because you're only going to be adding more content.
So how do you set it just to upload what you want it to upload? Because right now I think all mine's going.
Yeah, so basically what you do, and I think if you go here, if you go to the me and you hit the upper right, that little settings, in the
Yeah,
middle you have auto upload.
I see it. Okay.
So actually right now, when my computer crashed, I said, you know what, I'm gonna upload everything. So I do have it set for that right now, but I don't know if I'm gonna keep it. So I do have it turned on for all my projects. I have it going to my media space.
Yeah.
You have the choice of data if you want only Wi-Fi or also cellular because you don't want to get charged if you're paying for data. And then the size of it too. So I have mine at 1 GB. I have plenty that are over, but if I want to do something that large, if I want to put it into space, then I'll do it manually. So anything under 1 GB, even 500, if you're limited on space, you don't want one video to kill it for you. So that's where you can do that. And besides that, if you are on your main screen here, say this video that I just added. If I click on the buttons to the right, if you ever notice, whenever you open a file, it puts it to the top. It puts it
Mhm.
right up front. Here you see the first, I tapped it. So I tap those buttons on the right and it brings up the screen here. So it says upload to space.
I see.
So I would just tap that and it'll ask me where do you want these? Oh, this is one I'm going to do in, actually, I'm not going to do that one. I'm going to do in a client folder. And I can create a folder for an Impool Man.
Cool. Okay.
So now I'm going to upload it there. I'm not going to do it now just because I don't want it to lag or use some sort of space while I'm trying to maximize all my
Right.
data right now and my Wi-Fi. So that's how you get it to the space. And which is a shortcut too, because there's times I've been doing something on my desktop and my wife is like, "Are you ready?" I say, "Ready for what?" She said, "We have that party tonight, remember?" And I'm like, "Of course I remember, honey." Because I'm nodding my head. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay, upload to space." And then I say, "Honey, you're driving, right?" "Yeah, she's driving." Okay, so I can go in here and I can pull it onto my phone and I can finish editing while
There
I'm
you
still
go.
talking to her. So I can do it on the go if I need to. So I
Yeah.
like I like that feature, that part of it.
All right.
So
Well, I
my
definitely learned some things today.
good. Now I have another part more of this is to apply your presets, which we went over some of that and presets. So I go here. If I go to text, so this is adding a preset. So I showed you in my brand kit that I have saved some of my text.
Mhm.
And if I want to set one up, what I do is go here to add text. And if I go to style or font, see, I'll go modern style. I'm going to do all yellow. Which yellow? There we go. Yellow. I'm going to do a slight black stroke. I'm going to do some glow. Maybe I'll do an orange glow. I can change the intensity. It's one part with mobile too is here. I know I can see that range down at the very bottom, that slide bar at the bottom that I'm trying to get to. And when I go to scroll it up, it's moving the other one. It moves this one. So I scrolled it up and there's my range, so I can increase or decrease that. So I'm going to put it right there. And this is where you can do animation, effects, any of that. And then if I go over to scroll all the way over and go to presets, I can now save as a preset.
Yay.
That is a pro feature.
Yeah.
So you can do that. Um, and it disappeared. Oh, it's back. Isn't that funny? I hit on text and it goes away. Um, well, I guess I showed that. I don't have to go back and show it again. But something happened where it's gone. So that's preset for text. And then I showed in our other session how to do the adjustment. But again, just to stick with what I have on the curriculum here, if I go over to adjust, and this is that color correction that I use some of those photos or images in my brand kit, if I do, there we color match. So this is where I can, if I have different colors in my video, like say I want to use that blue, like that color here, all those colors that are there, and carry that through the entire video. I select it there and I hit apply. So now the rest of this video kind of has some of that color in it, and I can change the intensity of it. You can see here it's a little bit warmer, cooler, cooler, warmer, and put it right about there. So if I like that, I can hit apply to all of them. And video quality, accept that. So I didn't actually create, my own custom thing. I used the image, so there's no preset there. But if I go back in and I do say, maybe I bring the brightness down a little bit, contrast up. Always want to bring up sharpen. I bring it up to about 20. Clarity, I bring up to about 10. Is good there. So if I have that set, I go over to presets and I save as a preset. So now I have that look saved. The only thing I wish you could do is actually name them. But basically all you do is you go through and you just tap on the different ones anyways to see. So
Yeah,
it's really
it'll take a
quick to
couple
do
seconds.
anyways. So that's that one. Now, while I'm here, show you another shortcut. Now, I mentioned that you can trim your videos before you put them in here because it's easier to maneuver. Now, if I had to go like 2-3 minutes all the way, I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling to get there. If you put your two fingers on and you pinch them together, you can make this smaller. So that way, there's the end, there's the beginning. Just like that. So it's really quick. Now, say there's a scene or frame right there that I can't get to. I grab it and I open it up. That's the thing with mobile is it doesn't always do what your fingers are trying to make it do.
It's the only thing I'm used to because I only just downloaded the desktop version yesterday.
Yeah, and
So
I'm actually going to do that in here. This is the part where I go into the desktop to show you. So that is the pinch on that part. Now the filters, transitions versus animation. Another shortcut. Now I can go through and basically create most anything I want to custom. I can go in and change animations and have something move across the screen by doing an animation in and an animation out to have it do that. Or if I go into that animate, you have this combo.
I saw that and didn't know what it was.
Yeah, it's basically as you go in and explore a little bit. Sometimes you don't have time. You go into it and you're like, oh, I got to get this done. Um, so see, I'm just looking for a certain one here that's kind of swiping across the screen. So I'm just
Oh,
going to pick that one. I'm going to pick train.
Could have used that.
So and boom, I just added that effect right there in the first few seconds. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
Go back there again and look at that. So I didn't have to spend a lot of time. I could have done that with keyframes. I could have zoomed in and zoomed out and then changed it so it's very smooth. But in this case, I was able to just use basically a templated one. So that's using an actual animation, a preset animation. And see if I look at transition, I can do I do that pull in. So when I get here, oh, why it's all blurry. I must have added something to it. Weird. Okay. I think so. I just hit back, the back button to undo or undo. There we go. So as I come in here, I see them and whoosh, kind of pulls right into that next scene. Now it's different orientation, so I probably want to I can do something like this, where I can kind of pull to the side and have it slowly scroll across or something and still utilize that picture. I just hit the undo button and just bring it back. There we go. Now, instead of using that transition, I could have gone like this, I have my frame highlighted. I hit the little keyframe, the diamond with the plus sign,
Mhm.
right next to the undo button. It gave me the red diamond in that scene. And I can scroll up a little bit here, grab my window with my two fingers, and zoom in on what they're doing. So now, let me get rid of that transition. Okay, so I took out the transition and I have what I just created with the keyframe. So this is what it would do. Pulls in that way.
Love
So
it.
it took a little more time. So utilizing a preset transition versus actually doing it myself, I can do it pretty quick, but it did it quicker. So just another efficiency that can help you save a little bit of time. I was setting up for the brand kit just to show you I showed you on the image where it grabs the colors from the image. If I wanted to say I'll grab that template that I showed you. And this, of course, is a landscape. I'll go over here. There, I'll go to that one. So we have a portrait frame. Going to add overlay. So here I have my iPhone albums or my camera roll right there. My Mindstorm folder. So I have everything in here. So this is where I would go to brand videos. Here's my brand images. I would go down here and there we go. I have that. I click add and make it as long as that clip there. I just want to size it, get it about right, say right there. And then, of course, you're like, well, you can't even see what you're doing. So at the bottom, if I go down here and I find opacity, I can now just bring it down a bit so I can still see what's behind it, but still have my template. So now I can keep everything lined up. And then when I'm done editing everything, I have everything in place. Then I just go right back there to that overlay that I added and I hit delete because I'm done with it. Now on the desktop version, you can actually hide it. You can hide it and you can actually lock certain things too. So when I'm doing different styles of text on the same video, I might have captions and then I have other words that might pop up randomly. And by doing that, if you don't uncheck apply all, it'll sometimes mess up everything because you're changing this one word position and then it ends up changing all of them. So on the desktop, you can go in and lock it. I'll put it to a different line and I'll lock that line. And I'll show you when I'm on the desktop. I won't spend too much time on it, but like I said, I plan on doing the desktop app masterclass, the desktop masterclass. So another shortcut here, which we know, and this may not work because I don't think there's any, unless they're talking here, is captions. If I tap captions, and again, this is a pro version, but if you're doing a lot of editing and you're using some of these things, there is some ways around it. You could actually, you can add, say, the paid features, and you can put it in the big screen like this. And while it's doing that, you tap screen record with the paid features on there. Go back and stop it. So that created a video. And then I would just have to go back and kind of crop out the line on the bottom. So you can kind of cheat the system a bit. And I guess if you're that hard up to use a feature without paying for it, you can do that. But that's why I just pay for it.
I have the Pro on CapCut.
Yeah, it's well worth it. And I'll show you another thing in desktop too, which is really cool. And see my screen here is kind of weird. Let me try that. There we go. Okay, back to normal. So doing captions. So again, it's going to generate it from video. I'm going to pick one. I'm going to go with that one there with the emojis. See any advanced options that I want. Identify filler words. I don't because there's not much talking here and it would wipe out everything if I wanted it to. So it's searching. I don't know if there's any talking. There might be towards the end where I'm kind of closing in on the guys. And that's probably my buddy there, Jay. He's probably on the phone, but so again, I could have gone in here and manually added that. So considered a time-saving technique and a shortcut is having that. And then another shortcut would be if I'm in here and I'm tapped on that text right there, I can go into, oh, maybe not. Okay, if I back all the way out to the main menu, I can click on transcript, transcribing everything in there, and it's going to put it all on the screen for me. So I don't have to search for it. Everything's right here. It finds all my filler, all the dead space where I'm not doing anything, and it's actually, it's got them crossed out already. So if I go here, and maybe I don't want that line in here, I can kind of just long press right there, and I can click mark as filler word or leave it highlighted. Let's see. You have all those capabilities in there to do what you want with it. So you click, you can either double tap it or long press it, and I do mark as filler word. And if you see down the bottom, it says delete 20 words. So it has all that dead space and those words that I just added to it. And it will cut out that part of the video and the captions. So it does that all at once. So again, another kind of time-saving thing there. So I'm just going to get out of there. To get out of here is a little tricky. Upper left is that little down arrow. I tap there and it brings me back to the main screen. So I'm just going to hit the undo button a few times. There we go. So that's back to normal there. And now I want to show you the desktop.
Now, will my stuff sync with my phone? Will it be on desktop when I go in there today?
If yes, well, if you haven't gotten in the desktop yet, you'll have to go in and kind of once it's in there, then it will start downloading it. But from there on out, that's just because it's new. Then from there on out, it will automatically go in and do that.
Yeah, I don't care about too much of it. Maybe the Amazon videos, but
Right.
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
I was just curious if it would auto sync, like if everything that's on my phone right now would be go in there.
Right.
And I don't need it all in there because I don't care about the TikToks, really. I mean, it's rock trivia. I don't care about it, really. I mean,
It got you where you needed to.
my audience is not you know, they're not the real engaging type unless they find something you say wrong, and then they're engaging.
Right.
They don't care about much anything else.
Yeah, it's
But
a quick,
it got me in Amazon, so I
it's a quick stop.
yeah.
I just want to make sure my screen is good here. See, I'll see if that's position myself. All right, so here is my CapCut screen online. And again, I'll go through all that at some point. But this is a new feature within the last few weeks. And for some reason, whatever update I had, it didn't include it, but they have a screen record in here. So which for me, I can go in and I can do some editing and I can screen record my editing and use that as my content. So I'm super psyched about that. I don't have to open up
You
Zoom
are.
and record. And basically what you do is I hit record screen and you probably can't see my whole screen here. But I go like that. I open where I want to record.
Mhm.
Now I hit start recording. I can pull up my cameras so I can actually have my face on there. And let's see if, see that one's available. There we go. Now I can size this. I can change it to square. Yeah, I can exit out. I can get rid of it. I can move it up here. My microphone, I can pick which one I want. So I want my Yeti. You get a countdown. And now I'm doing like a triple recording. So welcome to CapCut's record screen presentation. So of course I'm only doing this, it looks like I'm only doing this little window. And I can't like click and drag on it or anything. I'm wondering if I can move the bar. So just figured I'd play with it while I'm right there anyways. I'm going to do
Yeah.
stop recording. And I'm just going to X out of that.
So this is not work for you, right?
No, not at all. And
This
it's
is fun stuff for you.
the few people that because I am working right now. I'm just on a long break. And
Mhm.
so basically like the few people that I know I might be talking to today, I've already told them not available for the next few hours. But I have to drive out towards Rhode Island later and I'm going to be well past my closing time. So I'm taking my time now, which is
There
nice.
you go.
Okay, my screen share is paused. There's CapCut. Okay, so you should see my CapCut screen.
Yep.
All right. Now, do you see our little box here in the corner with us?
I'm minimize. You mean
I don't think so.
the participants of the Zoom? I can see mine, but I have it minimized.
So in the upper right where it says export and share,
Yeah.
um, can you still see it now?
Hmm.
Okay, because I put something over it. So it looks like the window that's showing me, the viewers, isn't part of the screen. So I just wanted to make sure of that. You do see me in the lower left-hand corner?
Yep.
Hey,
Hey.
my fans.
The
I don't know if I told you I have Josh.
sunlight glow.
Yeah, Josh with Shirt Press Express. He's
Uh-huh.
making an apparel line for me. So we're gonna have Alan Curtis apparel, t-shirts,
Oh.
and yep, pretty cool. So here, the one thing, if you can start with this from the beginning, and I'm gonna bring in a video just to do it. I'm just gonna go to photos here and probably pick. There's my screen recording from when I did it on my phone. And let's see if I just find a video here. There we go. And do that one. So I highlighted it and now it's uploading it. So if you see in the lower right here, it says import. It'll turn blue when it's ready. So it usually doesn't take very long. I'm actually right now going into my Google Home and I'm going to prioritize my computer.
So how do you get something from your phone into the desktop?
So a few ways. One, I'm connected through iCloud with Apple through all my devices. So whenever I take my pictures, it will upload it to iCloud, and then I have access, say, down over here in my photos.
Okay.
Now, if I take a picture right now with my phone and I go to my computer, it won't be there yet.
Hmm.
It hasn't synced yet. So
Hmm.
what I'll do in that case is I'll just AirDrop it. So I'll
Yeah.
go into my phone and I'll AirDrop it to my MacBook. That way I have access to it. But
I use that AirDrop a lot.
yeah, it's a big time saver. Another shortcut. See, we're on that session.
Yeah. Yeah. AirDrop.
And
Got
a good
AirDrop.
thing to know with CapCut Desktop is if I bring something into where my downloads here. Now if I'm importing something into CapCut and I go into my downloads and I click it here and it pulls it in to my project and I use it, then later on I go to clean up my downloads folder and I delete it or I file it somewhere else. When you go back into that project, it's going to say it's missing. It gives you an option to find it and you can add it back in, but you want to make sure that like if I bring it into downloads or I airdrop it into my downloads that I file it, say in the project folder. That way I don't someday delete it. Because if I go back to it it's not going to have that piece of content in there and kind of stuck. So,
I hear.
so that's one thing to do. Now, all right, go back and highlight that one that I had. This is actually the one that I was on a coaching call on Wednesday while I was driving, just kind of holding the phone. So you got the little icon there showing that it's loading, loading, loading.
Oh, I see. It's a black screen as far as like, I don't see anything that indicates it's.
Okay, it's probably because it's a pop-up on my side.
Oh, okay.
And let me see if I have a different option. Stop share. Because I've done that with editing too, is whenever it brings up a pop-up, it doesn't record that pop-up. So maybe if I do desktop, where's my Canva? CapCut. Okay, do you now see?
I do. I
Okay.
see all the photos and your.
Okay, so this is it. So what I'll do is kind of go over it. So if I go into my photos here and I'm uploading a project, I'll go down, I click on it like that. It will take some time to load, depending on how big the file is. And then over in the bottom right, you have import. I just click on that and it puts it up in here. So just like we did with the phone, now I can kind of go through here. I have my mouse cursor going through the video and it's showing it on the screen, but I can pull these in to trim it. So maybe I don't want the beginning part. I just want, where I'm driving. I can change both sides of this. And it will tell you when I'm dragging it. And if you can see, but it says like a minute and 38 seconds or a minute and 14 seconds. So it tells you how much is actually in there. So I'm actually going to leave it just like that. And then also when I pull it in the upper left of that thumbnail, you can see the little scissors icon again. So it tells you that it's trimmed. It's a trimmed clip. I'm actually going to cut it right there. And then I can just click this plus sign. We'll put it down on the timeline, or I can drag it. I usually drag it because if you already have something on the timeline and you click the plus button, it'll put it on the timeline. And I might not want it on the timeline. I might want it above it.
Mm.
Because here, I don't have to click overlay and find something and then add it and then move it. I can just do that and grab it and I can put it up here. I can move it over there. I can select both clips. And then I can change my adjustments or my color with both of them rather than just one of them. So it's much easier to maneuver. So I'm going to just delete that because I don't need it and bring that back down to the timeline. But the first thing to show you is up here. See, where'd it go? There we go. So if I go up in my window, my actual window menu here, I have help. Click on that and we see shortcut. It brings up all the shortcuts, timeline, basic, other. So it shows, say, different screens. But timeline, I can see split is Control B. Split all is Control Shift B. I can select with A, split mode with. So it gives you all the shortcuts all right here.
So what did you click on the main menu up there?
It was help.
Help. Oh,
So it says CapCut and then it has file, edit,
yeah.
and help.
Okay. Shortcut.
And actually, if you go also in the upper right-hand corner, see here, there's a button itself. It just says shortcuts.
Oh,
I can
yeah.
click that and it does the same thing. And I can do different like presets. Like maybe I want, different things to add. I can reset it. I can change these. I can click on these and change them to what I want. I just leave it as is. So I can go in here and instead of going up here, so here I would split it and do it that way. Here's my undo. Also, if that's highlighted, I can click this one, which is delete to the left. I did that and I got rid of it. Now I can also by using my keys, I can hit Command B, just like that. And then I can do Command Z to undo on my keyboard.
Mhm.
Now, if I want to delete where my timeline indicator is there, if I want to delete everything to the right, I hit W and it deletes. And it's just going to delete that clip. If there's other clips after it, then those will drop into place.
Okay, cool.
And then some other buttons here. This one here is the main track magnet. So if I undo that, I can bring this back here. If I want to put something else in here, with it on, it snaps right back to the front.
Okay.
And then this one here is snapping. So when I move, kind of with your phone too, it kind of snaps to a point. Here, as I'm moving my cursor past the end of the clip, it snaps into that place. So I know I'm at the end. Now, when I'm going through, like when my mouse is going over the clip here, see, it's showing me in the window what I'm looking at. Now, there's times when you get to a point where it would snap, you miss stuff because it kind of fast forwards, it snaps into place, so you miss it. So I'll unclick this, and then I'm able to kind of see what's right at the end here without it snapping and moving on me. Just a little tip. So I'm going back there to click that. Now, if I brought that clip back out again, I just extended it back out again instead of undoing. I can scroll in and out. If I hold down Command and use the scroll bar on my mouse, I can scroll all the way in and all the way back out.
Hmm.
Or I can go over here and do it this way. And then if I'm out this way, if I hold down Option in the scroll bar, I go side to side. I'm scrolling that way. Or I'd have to grab the little thing down here and I'd have to scroll it and move it like that, which is a pain. Now, the other thing is if I'm all the way over here, I can just hit the home button on my keyboard and it just brought me all the way home, all the way to the beginning. So these shortcuts can save a lot of time once you actually learn them and know them. But this is CapCut Desktop, and I can't wait to go through all of it because this is the part that I love. This little button here will snap everything back so you can see it all in one page. It's like a quick snap back feature. And then when you do the aspect ratio, is right here. Ratio, and I do 9:16, and that's done.
I don't know. Excuse me. What is to bring it all the way back home?
Yeah, let's see. Oh, bring it all the way back home. So if I'm out
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
on my keyboard, I hit the home button.
Okay, great.
Home, and it snaps it right back.
Okay, awesome.
And there's also another shortcut where you can go like to the beginning of each clip, and I forget what it is. It might be like Command Arrow or something. It's in the shortcuts list, but there's so many helpful things because there's sometimes you're dragging to get to certain places and it takes a while when you can just almost snap to place just by hitting a couple buttons.
Oh man, sometimes it takes me like 2 minutes trying to get back to the beginning.
Yeah, just hit the home button when you're on desktop. And then also when you're monitoring your sound, you can see this right here. There's nothing on now. Of course, when it's playing, there's Chantel in the background on my coaching call. You can see this little indicator. If I click on that, it puts it over in the bottom or in the bottom right there. That way I can get a full view. So you don't want to go above 0 because that's when your sound starts clipping. What I do is if you highlight your clip and go up here into audio and you click normalize loudness. And basically what this will do is, so I clicked it and I have it set. It's normalized loudness to -12. So right now it's actually set to a YouTube volume, a YouTube comfortable volume. And actually, no, I changed it. It's actually on a TikTok volume right now. And you can change that in the menu. But you can, and that's a pro feature too. But that way I don't have to play with the sound. So it maximizes the sound here at the bottom without going over that 0. Because if I bring the volume up,
How are those puppies of yours? I just saw you.
no, it gets red.
Over there. So cute.
And it's not going to sound right when it's on the app.
They're cute, but they're a pain in the butt.
So now it's locked in and it won't go over that 0 once it's normalized.
Mom's a pain in the butt, to be honest with you.
And then you also have this enhanced voice, which is like your AI voice enhancer. Gets rid of background noise.
And yesterday she got
And I can click reduce noise and probably get rid of the road noise.
actually in the kitchen, not the
Yep.
garbage can in the driveway.
Now I lost the road noise.
I don't even want to go into what was in there. So that was a whole nightmare.
So this desktop is so much easier. I can move this. I can break it down. I can move this clip up to the front. I can squeeze it down. I have all this flexibility. You know, when you're thinking about how your finger is on the screen, and instead of pinching it in, you move this one over, and then it moved it, and you got to undo it. So you have so much more control. And even if I had, say, right there, if I split that clip, I can't get in there. I can't click on that. So what I do is I just click right around it, and then I can zoom in, and there's my, now I can click on it and do what I need to. Command Z and just undo all that, and hit that little home button, brings me back here. So I get rid of all my clicks there, all my trims, my splits. And another thing was, I was thinking one other thing I wanted to show you while I'm here. I'm itching to do a whole tutorial on this, as you can note, as you can see.
Well, I'll be waiting on that because, like I said, I've never used it.
Yep, it's
Always been
I love it.
own with my fingers.
And you have all these, like I can take this and I can crop it. You know, if I want to do a split screen something,
Mm.
and I can just move that over. You know, it's so many things that you can do, and do a mask. So see, this is cool here. If I do mask, I add mask and do circle, and I do it just like you're doing a screen share kind of thing. I do that, and then I click back to basic. I can now move my face around. So if I wanted to take this, oh, so if I take this clip, if I'm on this clip and I hit Option, and with my mouse I can duplicate the clip and do that, and actually do this. Where is?
So how many people do you have in your group now in the school?
I haven't in school. I have I think close to 90.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I've gotten some that joined my Facebook group. Kind of followed my prompts inside the group and actually went and joined the the school group, which is cool because that's my plan. That's my Facebook group. I figure while I have it there, I'm going to use it. If I capture people, then I'll try and steer them towards the school group. No, I was actually trying to do my little window there with the other one behind me, but I save that for another time.
So what exactly is masking?
Masking, basically, you highlight the area that you only want to see that area. So let's see if, okay, so that's the one where I have a mask. So here I'm blocking everything else out outside that circle. I can go over here. This little button here is invert. If I click that, it shows everything except my face. So now I made that window, you know, I moved it where I wanted my face. So I can go back here to position. I can hit 0 and 0, and that brings me back to center. So if I invert it again, there's my face. But I can do text. I haven't used these down here, brush, pen. And this is where you can do things like split screen. That's how people do, that's how they do cloning. You film one side and the other side, and then you block this out, and I can move this back and forth. And I can feather it a little bit so it blends the split. Just like that. And then over here, you have feather. Or if it's a rectangle, I can do round corners. I can track so it follows something. So there's just so much you can do here that you can't do on the phone.
Looks pretty robust.
Yeah. And I love it. It's once you it takes some time to get used to it, but once you do, it's amazing. All right, so now we have this next section. This next section I'm actually going to do as a recorded. because it's actually going through, and let me stop my screen share here. There we go. The next section that I have is, where is it here? Is a hands-on use of the template to plan the video. I've talked about it and I've kind of given everyone the resource, but I wanted to walk through it just to make it look that much easier. And I wanted to kind of apply everything in there. And it would take some time, and seeing we're approaching the 3 hour mark anyways, I can do that separately and it'd probably be understood better that way. Because I want it, it's probably going to be a little bit lengthy. So I'll go right to the next section here,